The smart money for 2024 is on a Trump versus Biden rematch. Now, I'm not saying it's majority likely, but I am saying it's plurality likely. Whatever the chance, 30 some odd percent chance, right? That it's going to be a Trump versus Biden rematch. And what's interesting about that is nobody wants it, but it's still the most likely scenario. It shows how broken our politics is. In the same way, I remember in 2016 when we finally got down to Hillary versus Trump, everybody was like, how did we end up here? Like, nobody actually wants this, but this is what we have, because both of them had record high unfavorables for being their party nominee. We're right back to where we were then. Look at this in the Washington Post. Few Americans are excited about a Biden-Trump rematch post-ABC poll finds. Most say they would feel dissatisfied or angry if either wins the general election. So they have some amazing numbers in here. We're going to get to them. President Biden and former President Trump may have each drawn a record number of votes in 2020, but at this early stage in the 2024 election cycle, Americans show little enthusiasm for a rematch between the two well-known yet unpopular leaders, according to a Washington Post ABC News poll. Neither Biden nor Trump generate broad excitement within their own party. Interesting. In the past, Trump did, but now they're saying he doesn't. He's in the same category as Biden, where people aren't excited. And most Americans overall say they would feel dissatisfied or angry if either wins the general election. Biden, who has said he intends to seek re-election, has no current opposition for the Democratic nomination. Pause. That's not exactly true now, is it? Marianne Williamson has been plotting along behind the scenes. And it looks like, we don't know yet for sure. There hasn't been an official announcement yet. But it looks like he's going to get one challenger. Now, by the way, you know what's way better for the outsider candidate? When there's only one challenger. Because then you got the outsider versus the insider, and it's better than splitting the vote between like 7 people on stage. So if it truly is just Marianne versus just Biden, it's going to be fun. It's going to be so much fun. I'm looking forward to it. So, Washington Post sort of snubbing Marianne Williamson here, but you know what? That's okay. Go ahead. Do your thing. We'll see how this goes. Trump is likely to face at least several challengers in his bid to lead his party for a third consecutive election. Among Democrats and Democratic-leaning independents, the post-ABC poll finds 58% say they would prefer someone other than Biden as their nominee in 2024. What? 58% of Democrats and Democrat-leaning voters go, we don't want Biden. Well, if there's Biden and there's only one other running against him, seems like that's a fact that cuts in the direction of whoever Biden's opponent is going to be. Now, isn't it? There's a lot of work to do between now and then, but that's a good number if you are a critic of Biden from within the Democratic Party, or you vote Democratic and you're a critic of Biden. Okay, let's continue. Almost double the 31% who support Biden. Only 31% of Democrats and Democratic-leaning voters support Biden. That is statistically unchanged since last September. So in other words, it ain't getting better for him, bro. It ain't getting better for him. 58% nominate someone else. Only 31% say, I'm good with Biden. 10% say, I have no opinion. For Trump, look at the Trump numbers. Only 44% say nominate him. 49% say don't nominate him. Now, his numbers are a little better than Biden's right now, but still, he ain't a shoo-in yet. He's a favorite in the Republican primary, but he's not a shoo-in. Among Republicans and Republican-leaning independents, 49% say they prefer someone other than Trump as their nominee in 2024, compared with 44% who favor the former president. That, too, is statistically unchanged from last September. More than 6 in 10 Americans, 62%, say they would be dissatisfied or angry if Biden were reelected in 2024, while 56% say the same about the prospect of Trump returning to the White House for a second time. Wow. So a majority of the country in both instances would be dissatisfied or even angry if one of these goofballs gets elected again. Slightly more than 1/3, 36%, say they would be enthusiastic or satisfied but not enthusiastic if Biden were reelected, while 43% say the same about a possible Trump victory in 2024. But negative sentiment is also noticeable. More than 1/3, so 36%, say they would be angry if Trump wins, while 30% say that about a Biden victory. Fewer than 2 in 10 are enthusiastic about Trump, so only 17% are enthusiastic about Trump. So now we're down to, this is his floor, his actual floor, is 17% who love him and are never going to leave him. 17%. What's that number for Biden? Only 7% are enthusiastic about Biden. So Biden's floor is 7%, Trump's floor is 17%. But let's be clear, for both of them, this is a very, 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 very low floor. In a hypothetical matchup between Biden and Trump, 48% of registered voters today say they would favor Trump to 45% who say Biden. So Trump wins today. If the election were today, Trump wins 48 to 45 in a head-to-head between those two. A gap within the polls margin of error. About 9 in 10 Democrats back Biden, and about the same share of Republicans back Trump. Among independents, 50% favor Trump to 41% for Biden. So again, as of right now, in a rematch, Trump does beat Biden, according to this poll and according to some other polls that I've seen recently. Now, look, I'm skeptical that that would hold in a rematch again, Trump versus Biden. I'm very skeptical that would hold, but just know, regardless of my skepticism, it's still clearly a race. Like, it's up in the air. It's a coin toss. It could go either way. So, wow. Anyway, you guys get the gist of it here. People do not want these two to get elected. People do not want these two to be our final two choices. So we got to do something about it. On the Republican side, you guys will have other options. My guess is only one of them at this moment is legit. Maybe two, if I'm being kind. Meaning two other than Trump. And on the Democratic side, we may have one option other than Biden. And that should be interesting. So we'll see, man. I will say this. Biden is already pissing off New Hampshire. Because the DNC is trying to kick New Hampshire out of its legendary slot as the first primary. And even the Democratic Party officials in New Hampshire, stalwart Democrats, are furious at Biden and the DNC for what they're doing. And so they may actively be shopping around for another candidate to support just to snub Biden, who snubbed them. And then in that scenario, Marianne would be fortuitous, to say the least. Absolutely fortuitous. So I guess we'll find out, y'all. I guess we'll see what's going to happen, but people are not looking forward to a Trump versus Biden rematch. All right, guys, that's the show. I love all of you very, very much. Thank you for listening to me babble on a daily basis, as many of you do. You can listen to the full show on Spotify now. If you want to listen to the show in a podcast form, it's on Spotify. You don't have to go video for video on YouTube. And we're trying to build up, that platform and other platforms because we feel like YouTube's a little questionable in terms of their treatment of us and the algorithm and the recommendations and things of that nature. So check us out on Spotify. Thank you to all the Patreon supporters. I love you guys. You guys make this show possible. Never had a conversation with an advertiser because of you guys and because of your support. Thank you to the Substack supporters for Crystal, Kyle, and friends. You guys make this work as well. Love you to death. And everybody just click that like, click that subscribe button, click that little bell icon so you get a notification every time a video drops. We're on our way to 1 million subscribers. We may actually get there eventually, man. I don't know. I'm just saying we might actually get there eventually. It's taking a while, but maybe, we'll see. Anyway, love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace. If you want to see me and Crystal Ball interview legends like Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, and more, subscribe to Crystal, Kyle, and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video version a day early. Remember, we take 0 ad dollars for this podcast. Or you can sign up on Substack for free and get the audio version a day later. Link in the video description box below.